Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simple English Stories. Today, we have a very long and mysterious story called Do You Believe in Ghosts? This story is perfect for practicing English listening, speaking, and shadowing technique. Listen carefully, pause after each sentence, and repeat after me. Copy the tone, speed, and emotion. Are you ready? Let's begin. People often ask me a simple question, a question that sounds innocent but feels heavy every time I hear it. Do you believe in ghosts? For a long time, my answer was easy. I always smiled and said no. I believed ghosts were just stories, things people talked about when the lights were off and the night felt too quiet. I believed fear lived only in the mind. But one rainy evening changed that belief forever, and since then, my answer has never been the same. It started when I moved to a small town for work. The town was quiet, peaceful, and surrounded by tall trees and old buildings. People there spoke softly, as if the town itself preferred silence. I rented a small apartment near the edge of town. It was cheap, clean, and surprisingly empty. The landlord was an old man with tired eyes and a slow voice. When he gave me the keys, he hesitated for a moment, then smiled strangely and said, "If you hear anything at night, don't worry. Old buildings like to talk." I laughed politely, but his words stayed in my mind longer than I expected. The first few nights were normal. I unpacked my things, cooked simple meals, and tried to feel at home. At night, the wind moved through the trees and the floor sometimes made soft noises. I told myself it was normal. Old buildings make sounds. That's what everyone says. But on the fourth night, something felt different. The air felt heavier, like the room was holding its breath. I woke up suddenly at exactly 3:12 a.m. I didn't know why. My heart was beating fast, and my room felt colder than before. I lay still, listening. At first, there was nothing. Then I heard it. A soft sound, like footsteps, slow and careful, moving across the living room floor. I held my breath and listened harder. The footsteps stopped near my bedroom door. I wanted to believe it was my imagination, but the sound was too clear, too real. I reached for my phone, my hands shaking, and checked the time again. 3:12 a.m., the same time I woke up. After a few seconds that felt like hours, the footsteps moved away. I sat up, my heart pounding, and told myself I was tired, stressed, and new to the place. I went back to sleep, but my dreams were restless. I dreamed of long hallways, closed doors, and someone calling my name in a voice I almost recognized. The next morning, I asked my neighbor if the building had thin walls. She looked at me carefully before answering. "You heard something, didn't you?" she asked quietly. I laughed nervously and said it was probably nothing. She nodded slowly but didn't smile. "This building has a long memory," she said, then walked away. Her words made my skin feel cold. Night after night, strange things continued. Lights flickered even when the power was stable. Doors creaked open when I was sure I had closed them. Sometimes I smelled old perfume in the hallway, a soft floral scent that didn't belong to me. Every night I woke up at the same time, 3:12 a.m. It became a routine I didn't want but couldn't escape. One evening, I decided to face my fear. I stayed awake past midnight, sitting on the couch with all the lights on. I told myself that if something happened, I would see it clearly. Hours passed slowly. The clock moved closer to 3:12. When the time finally came, the room grew quiet in a way that felt unnatural. Even the wind outside seemed to stop. Then I heard a voice. It was soft, almost a whisper, but it was clear. It said my name, not loudly, not angrily, but gently, like someone trying not to wake another person. My body froze. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. The voice came again, closer this time. "I've been waiting," it said. I stood up slowly, my legs weak, and followed the sound toward the hallway. The temperature dropped with every step. At the end of the hallway, I saw a figure. It wasn't clear or sharp like a person. It was pale, almost transparent, and glowing faintly. It looked like a woman, standing still, her head slightly down. I wanted to run, but something kept me there. Fear mixed with curiosity, and curiosity won. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice shaking. The figure lifted her head slowly. Her eyes were sad, deep, and full of something I couldn't name. "I lived here," she said. "I never left." She told me her story in broken sentences, like memories that hurt to touch. She had lived in the apartment many years ago. She waited for someone who never came back. Night after night she waited. Time passed, but her waiting never ended. When she died, her heart stayed behind, holding on to hope, holding on to the place where she last felt alive. I listened, tears filling my eyes, forgetting my fear. Her sadness felt heavier than any ghost story I had ever heard. "Why me?" I asked softly. She smiled sadly. "You listen," she said. "Most people don't." As the first light of morning appeared, her figure began to fade. "Will you be okay?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "Now that someone remembers, I can rest." And just like that, she was gone. The room felt warmer, lighter. The silence no longer felt heavy. I moved out a week later, but I was not the same person. I no longer laugh when people ask me if I believe in ghosts. Some ghosts are not here to scare us. Some are just stories that were never finished, feelings that were never heard. Now it's your turn. Listen carefully to each sentence. Pause the video after each sentence. Repeat after the speaker. Copy the tone, speed, and emotion. This is the shadowing technique. It will improve your English listening, speaking, and pronunciation. Thank you for listening to Simple English Stories.